This right here is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play campaign brought to you by the Knights of D20. Those guys. Hey, cuties. As usual, before we begin blowing up prison walls and saving fathers, we have a few announcements brought to you by my friend Dane, who's going to do his very best Bobby impression. Dane, take it.
No one can replace Bobby, first of all. So announcements this week. So on Wednesday, we have Tea Time, of course, featuring Melanie and Robin this week, talking all that tea, dishing about everything that's going to happen this week and more. Also, tomorrow, we are releasing another Int Mod Pod episode featuring the Sorcerer class. And that was me and Bobby on that video. So hop on in and learn a thing or two. And other than that, I got nothing else. So that is it. Back to you, Kara.
Thank you, Dane. And thank you all again for joining us as we embark on an epic adventure in the world of Dion, where heroes rise, dangers abound, and legends are born. Players, dice at the ready. I got a lot here because I'm going to kill someone tonight. TPK. In episode 33, Seraphina was posing as Coolguard and struggled to connect with a coworker before convincing him to help unionize the Weave Break prison guards. Meanwhile, Ido struck a deceptive deal with the Warden to trade Marway's release for information on the location of the Blackthorn family, only for them to stage a very chaotic prison break once Kittenberry, herself disguised as Admiral Maynote, blew up the outer walls of the prison. Bula knocked out the Warden, Idos freed Marway, and the party escaped with Valyrian Blackthorn and a massive, mysterious half-dragon prisoner named Varmox the Severed. After fleeing through a furnace tunnel to the ocean, the party regrouped at the Underhill Inn, where emotional moments were shared between mutually half-ancestry Bula and Varmox, and Seraphina received a nice affirmation about her parents from Killian. The next day, the party made plans with Vrinrock and Bess to acquire some naval uniforms and finally infiltrate Admiral Maynote's fleet to confront her with the arcane signature device, with Seraphina's family staying behind in hiding. So, we open today in Marway and Bula's room at the Underhill Inn. Following that conversation, Bula, you're tucking Marway in. You've decided, and pretty unilaterally decided after what he's been through, that he needs to hang back from what's to come. He's exhausted, he's hurt, he's sick, you don't know what's going on, but this boy needs sleep, and so you're making sure that happens. As you're ensuring Sir Lavender is settled next to Marway, and you pull the bed quilt off the mattress to sort of cocoon him in his spot underneath your bed, you find yourself asking, not for the first time, how the heck you got here, caring so deeply for this little satyr, who is barely more than a boy himself, and who makes you feel more at home than you've ever really felt. When you think of home, though, you usually shove that down deep, banishing it to the abandoned holler of your memory. But tonight, those memories sort of surface unbidden, and you sit back on your haunches, and you compare your God's-given family back home to this new one you have forming around you day by day. On most maps, your village isn't even really labeled, but on some regional maps, you've seen that dot labeled Marbrand, deep, deep, deep in a remote valley of the Shargathu mountain range. It's not a hub of trade and commerce like Seraphina's birthplace. It's not a land of adventures and danger like Killian's nation, or Zada's tribal fields. Marbrand is defined first and foremost by consistency. It is what it is, could be the town motto. No other string of words really encapsulates both the stubborn disdain for change, stone hard as the hills, as well as the hopeless malaise of a poor, isolated, self-sustaining orc population. The seasons of your youth all kind of bleed together in your memory into one long, repetitive cycle. Find what the land provides for food, do your farming, do your livestock rearing, take care of the youngins and the elderly, don't rock the boat, lest we all get wet. That last bit was always kind of the hardest for you to stomach, even before you really understood all the ways one person could even rock this proverbial boat. In your reverie, your mama walks with you to the well in town. The closest one to your hut got too muddy to bathe in after a heavy rainfall season. She's big next to you, though she walks with her shoulders hunched and her head low to avoid drawing eyes. The neighbor kids are in the front yard trying to melt their sugar rations into a paste so that they can make sweets to sell at school. And despite your mama's efforts, they see you coming, and they whisper behind hands as you both pass. Not for the first time, you suspect people don't really mean it when they say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, it ain't worth saying. You feel your mama's hand holding yours go warm. You look up and see she's flushed with embarrassment. Also not for the first time, as she speeds up and pulls you along a little faster. She isn't quick enough, though. As you're walking away, you distinctly hear, my mama says she does have a daddy, but he ain't like her mama enough to stay around. She said he weren't even from here to begin with. How did young Bula respond to hearing that as a kid? As your mama scooped you up and practically breaks into a jog? Or what might have crossed her mind?
For not the first time. One time of many, she just says, Mama, I don't understand. Who's my daddy? Everybody else has a daddy. Why did they say such things? I mean, you said I don't have one, and I just don't see how that makes sense. I told the kids that I don't have one. And they told me that was stupid. And that's not the way it works. You can't just not have a daddy. And kind of as that thought plays through her mind, she kind of looks at Marway. She says, but you don't. You really don't. She kind of flashes back to that memory of just questioning, and just her mother constantly just putting a hand over her mouth, just stopping her, not answering her questions, just, it doesn't need to be talked about. It's not important.
And so it goes, for more years. Another memory you're always trying to ward off surfaces. The kids of Marbrand always seemed to be your obstacle, saying those things the grown-ups wouldn't, to your face at least. But as you've aged, you've started to kind of understand enough to piece together your mom's story, if you could call it that. Your father rolled into town, stirred up the pot something fierce, especially when he took a shine to your mama. Mama doesn't talk about him, ever, and every attempt by you to bring him up has ended with the cold shoulder, or worse, a command to go out back and pick a switch if you can't keep your nose out of grown folks' business. You eventually grew a nice thick skin, right around the time you gave up ever asking after this mysterious, terrible ghost of a man. That thickening of the skin came with a couple major growth spurts, and soon, though you may only be half orc, perhaps, you could see the top of your mama's head, even when she stood at full height, as well as everyone else's in the village. Everyone in Marbrand finds their work and keeps themselves busy with it, so you found yours, chopping firewood, hunting big game, as needed. The work you secretly prided yourself on, though, wasn't that? It was your secret work, your special work, watching out for the youngins, the way there was not really someone to watch out for you. If there was a scrap over the best pork chop, you were there to pull the roughhousers apart after they got a few harmless licks in, but before it got messy and the food ended up in the dirt, wasted. If a runt was being strong-armed by older kids, you were there, leaning on a tree casually to make your disapproval known to the offenders. That was enough for a time to be a daddyless freak, but to have at least the respect and physical protection as the strongest young woman in the holler. At least it was until the day you were on your way back from the woods, carting a wheelbarrow of logs for Old Man Gug. You heard shouts down by the crick. And you heard your mom's voice in your head. Keep your nose out of grown folks' business. These don't sound like grown folks, though. And they're not the playing kind of voices. You pause and you hear 3 distinct voices. Maybe a little younger than you. Not kids. You can't quite place what you're hearing, but there's a distinctly quieter voice, and that's the only one expressing something other than anger and Violence. What do you do?
I walked down to the creek to see what they were doing. And it was a bunch of older kids that know better. Well, they should have known better.
Yeah.
And one small one. You know, most orcs, we're not a small breed of people. So it's kind of frowned upon. You know, it's been whispered I'm not even full orc. And look at me. I'm even big. So when there's one a little bit smaller, it doesn't really go well. Sometimes they don't even last long, but I just don't think that's fair. I don't have any control over that. It's not fair. How can you get mad at somebody for something they don't even have control over? Like what size they are or who their daddy is. And then she just felt this insane bubbling of rage. And she had raged before. You know, it's not uncommon. It's something to be proud about when you're an orc. But as she kind of bust through to save this smaller little one, she just... something else happened. Something besides just the normal changes that come with a rage. There were lights. And they just popped out everywhere, and it was almost weird to still be raged and still be focusing, but almost distracted. Where's that coming from? And everybody just got so quiet. And they certainly weren't looking at the smaller orc anymore. They were looking at me. And then I realized it was because the lights were coming out of me. It looks like a right old little disco ball or something. It didn't make any sense. And so I made sure, quickly, I got the little orc up and I dusted him off and sent him running. And then I ran. I ran straight home. Because the looks that they were giving me, the things that they started whispering, this was going to be nothing but trouble. I ran straight to Mama. I told her exactly what happened. And the look that she gave me wasn't any better. And then her looks of astonishment, they turned into something else. It was fear. She was afraid of me. I didn't know what to do. And then she left. She ran out of the house into town. I just stayed there. In the house, I didn't know what to do. And the next thing I knew, she was back all right. She was back all right with a lot of other people as well. And they made sure that I knew that I was not welcome anymore. And then as she's kind of thinking through this memory, she just looks under the bed again at Maraway and how he's fitfully sleeping, but he's actually getting rest because he's so exhausted, and he does look at least a little bit peaceful in his sleep this time. She just says, I don't understand. Why magic means that there's so much to be afraid of. Why people wanted Maraway gone just because of his magic, or why a whole village was so afraid of me just because of a little magic.
All right. Downstairs, you all send Bess on her way to gather up some naval uniforms from the Triune Navy so that you all can get on with your plan of taking down Admiral Maynote, or whoever is pretending to be her. So, tell me, we did a little bit of planning last time. How are you going to proceed as far as preparation? Are you going in guns blazing? How would you all like to proceed once you get those uniforms? Or is there any preparation you want to make during the day here?
Well, we're going into a very heavily fortified naval fleet. And as I see, is Bula heading down the stairs?
Yeah, she's left far away. She's locked the door. And she's coming down to see what we need to do for the day to get this done.
Yeah, and as I see Bula coming down, he'll just look over to Bula and says, "Oh, Bula, how's Marway doing? I know his time in the Weave Break prison was quite hard on him. I was wondering, how is he?"
Well, he's not well. You saw what he looked like. But I think he's so tired now that he's actually maybe getting rest for once. I don't know. Either way, he's not going. We're not waking him up.
Okay, well, I think that changes things a little bit then, considering how we rely on him for, tending to our issues, our wounds and things like that.
That just means you're gonna have to not step in front of a fireball this time.
I can't help that, okay? That's just...
Apparently
Let's just hope there's not a lot of fireballs on these ships, okay? But I think it probably would be best for us to maybe stock up on some healing potions. I know I purchased one the other day, but I don't know about the rest of you.
Yeah, that might be a great idea. I think I am fresh out of healing potions.
Definitely get some healing potions. Maybe a leg of lamb. That always makes me feel better. And maybe some... Too early for mead. We can do that as well. That always makes me feel better too.
Well, I can head out and see if I can find some for sale. Lamb chops included.
Okay.
What?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we also discussed possibly finding ourselves a ship to commandeer and sail that out to join with the fleet and kind of sneak our way on while we're wearing the uniforms. I think that's kind of what we discussed.
Better than facing them on, or taking them on face on, whatever the phrase is. With the uniforms, we could just blend in and walk aboard. Should be easy, right? Right?
Seraphina will ask her mom if she happens to know where they can find a ship.
A whole ship, dear. I mean, that's not exactly something you just commandeer without significant paperwork. However, as you know, we have all the boats that take us to and from the house. So, of course, you're welcome to use one of those. Those will sit between 10 to 15 people.
Do the naval ships fly flags?
Yes, they all do.
Might need to steal one of those as well.
Has Bess left already?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bess is out in the city trying to get your uniform.
Well, I'm sure she could give us a little bit more detail about the inner workings of the naval fleet, at the very least. Maybe some kind of, I don't know, maybe they have some call signs or something of that nature to let other ships know that they're friendly.
She would be the one to know.
Mm-hmm. But I think the issue that I do want to bring up with everyone is, we need to find where Admiral is amongst all of these ships. I think that's going to be quite an endeavor. We don't want to get stuck on one ship while she's on a completely separate one. Not to mention all the soldiers and sailors that are going to be on the ship as well.
Well, she is the leader of the ships. I'm assuming she's on the nicest one. That's what I would do.
We can just tell him that we need to see her. We've got business with her and not them.
What business do we have? We have to kind of get our stories straight before we just kind of walk in there.
Business, not yours.
We can just say that we've been recently assigned to their division for Maynote, and we need to get to her location.
See, now that's business, Bula.
That's what I said. Come on now.
It was implied. I get it.
Zada got it. See, he got it.
We're planning on bringing that arcane signature with us as well, right? I think Renarok was showing Zareth how to use it, correct? So Zareth will be coming along with us.
Yeah, if you can stop creaking it for a few minutes.
Yeah, he will be. Sorry. He can be if you need him to.
Well, I think the other things I just we need to confirm so that I feel comfortable going on this little mission is to make sure she's actually on the ships when we head out over there. Just hate to go there and then, she went ashore for a little bit. That would be a problem.
Well, won't Bess know when she comes back?
Like I said, I feel like Bess might have some insight on maybe the inner workings of the naval fleet. Maybe they have some things to do in the morning time that keep them on the ship. But yeah, I think hopefully she'll be able to answer a few more questions for us.
I can go now to the docks and scout it out and see if she leaves or joins, and then keep tabs on that, because maybe her information isn't as well. But I could just stay there, wait for you guys to do your shopping, and if anything changes, I can at least get a good survey of the docks. See if she's coming or going, because she's got to hit the docks if she wants to come back in, unless she's using magic, which she definitely could, but
I feel like she'd, try to play it cool at this time. Alright, well, I definitely like the scouting idea to make sure that she's, if she's there or not.
yeah, I can get there real fast, stay there, and wait for you guys. No problem.
Maybe keep an eye out for anything that might help us blend in later.
Yeah, of course.
These secret handshakes.
It's obviously an eyebrow wiggle.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Well, everybody, give me your money. I'll go get us some potions and lamb.
Good news, I don't have any more. All right, bye.
Wasn't he the manager of all your money, Kelly?
All my money? No. That was the group money.
Oh, it wasn't my money. You put my money with the group's money?
I didn't. I had
assumed
my
that
own
there would
money. He just gave me extra money because he has no concept of economics.
Apparently he gave you all his money if he has none.
No, I spent it all on that nice, really good tiara you have on now.
Oh, that's right. And it looks so good on me. I do appreciate it. Okay, well,
Well, the last time that I purchased some potions in town, it cost me about like 50 gold pieces for a healing potion, I think.
So I will come over and give you his 5 gold and be like, that's all I got. Bye.
Oh, this is so embarrassing. Even with this 5 gold, I'm a little light for even one potion.
Bula's gonna give him about... She'll give him about 60. And she says, don't forget that leg of lamb.
Of course. I wouldn't. I wouldn't dare. I'll even bring the change. Anybody else? Anybody else? Taking orders?
Okay, so Seraphina is going to go find her dad. And, I'll be right back. And so she's gonna go find her dad to try to ask for some money for some healing potions.
Big
Money,
Blackthorn.
please.
Yes, please, Daddy.
Your mom and your dad are downstairs, like, being available if you need them, but your dad's definitely
Okay.
also recovering from the night before. They're sitting in, like, a corner booth pretty far back.
Okay,
trying to
so
keep you in
she'll approach both of them and be like, "Hey, Dad, how are you feeling this morning?"
Oh, my dear darlingest daughter, I'm so glad to see you this morning. Well, frankly, I've been better, dear. What do you need? Do you need support from your loving parents?
Kind of. Well, you see, we're all about to head out on this really crazy adventure, and funny thing, we just need a couple of healing potions, but I don't know if we have really enough money to buy everything that we need. Do you happen to have anything on hand that we could borrow? We will pay you back.
He looks at your mom, and he starts, like, patting all of his pockets, his many, many pockets in his robe, and is like, well, dear, I was, as you would know, I was arrested, and we didn't exactly stop to reacquire my personal effects that I had on me at Luminara the day I was taken into custody. Darling, and he looks at your mom, do you happen to have your purse handy? And she's like, something's never changed, dear, and she pulls out her purse and opens it up. She counts out, like, in her bag, like, she doesn't want anybody to see that she's wealthy and has her money with her. She counts out a bunch of money, and she's like, darling, I have about 140 gold I could give you. The rest I'm gonna need to hold on to so that we can pay up the inn as we go here. Will that do for now? You're always welcome to go buy the house if you want to risk it. There's more money in the safe.
Okay. I think this will be good for now. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome, darling. He kisses you on the cheek. Hands over, like, as she's kissing you on the cheek, very discreetly under the table. Hands you a heavy handful of gold pieces. Multiple handfuls as you're, like, shoveling it into your own purse.
Okay, so Seraphina will hand it over to Ados.
Okay. You've got 147 gold from Seraphina. Ados.
Oh, I got 147. Nice. Okay, and I have about 40, so carry the one. Let's see. What did I get? 60, 65, 12. I can get it 5 potions and some land.
Is that enough?
As we flash forward,
One. I have one.
to Ados in the potion shop that Killian recommended. Ados, the man behind the counter is looking frazzled at best. Hello, what can I help you with today? And I guess you can kind of read him as, like, nervously wishing he didn't have customers coming in.
Oh, sorry if I interrupted anything.
Interrupting? No, certainly not. What can I do for you?
Well, me and my friends are very clumsy, and we need some healing potions.
Healing potions, of course, healing potions. Everybody needs healing potions these days. And he says, "I'm gonna give it to you straight, good sir. There is a recent shortage of alchemists in Erendriel. At the very least, in Nurdistand. I do have some healing potions handy, but I do have to raise my prices a bit to maintain, the balance of supply and demand. How many would you like to acquire? I'm going to have to charge you about 70 gold apiece. I know that's more than market rate, but at this point, that is the market.
It's about a 50% increase of market rate. I understand we're in trying times, but surely we can't cut a deal, perhaps? Are you looking for any services? You said you're low on alchemists.
Well, I mean, between you and me, it's not convenient that most of the mages have either been arrested at this point or skipped town completely, due to the movements of the Navy. I would rather hold on to many of my stores in case of a rainy day, but What do you have to offer as far as a bargain?
Oh, I'm not sure. I do have these potions, and he'll pull out the black vials. It's like, these are very, very, very dangerous. I'm not even sure that I should be showing them off. But are you in the market for such deadly potions as these?
He reaches under and pulls on like a chainmail glove and holds his hand out. May I take a look?
Certainly. And he'll hand it over.
Holds it up to the light, gives it a flick, flips it up and down very gently, watches the viscosity. Says, I've never seen something quite like this. Where did you acquire this potion? And you say it's dangerous. In what manner?
It makes people eat people, and if they don't, I believe they go insane. I would have to check my notes. But yes, and I acquired it from hell. It's nice this time of year, a little warm. But I can assure you that it's very difficult to come by. And
very
as I said,
gently puts it on the counter in front of him.
very dangerous.
Well, I could say I am interested. This would probably turn a fairly decent profit to the right buyer, though maybe not strictly legal. You say you acquired this in the Hells. Let me ask you, is there any sort of contract or ill-begotten deal that was made for the acquisition of this potion that I would be implicating myself in by accepting your offer?
I don't think so.
You must
I believe
understand I asked because the Hells are famous for their contracts.
Oh, sure. I believe these were cleanly stolen from the rightful owner, who is now dead and won't be looking for them anytime soon. Find his keepers and all.
He takes like a look around at the room as if looking for any kind of like scrying eye or anything just to be sure. And he quickly like slides it under the table where it's sort of out of view of like the windows to the street. And he says, I think I should be able to turn a profit on this in the amount of, I could offer you maybe 5 healing potions in exchange. Or I could give you 3 general healing potions and 1 potion of greater restoration.
Eidos will do one of these and think of which ones his friends would like. Guys, which one's the better deal?
Greater Restoration is really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
And plus 3 baby potions. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I
So you want
take
to go
that
for that
deal.
one?
Yep.
Okay. Eidos scoffs, and he knows he doesn't need the advice of his friends. He knows perfectly well which is the better deal. And he'll turn to the shopkeep and say, greater restoration and 3, what'd you say, lesser potions of healing?
Yeah, just general healing potions, yeah.
General.
Just the most basic.
I'm sure that we could make a deal for those. Do you have any food?
Are you, no, I can't say that I typically serve. I mean, I have my lunch in a bag in the back.
What are you having for lunch?
I'm having pastrami on rye and a side of green beans.
Delectable. With a little bit of ground mustard. Can't beat it.
Of course.
Good to
No
know.
otherwise.
So that's one of the devil potions for these bad boys.
Yes, if that is the deal you wish to make today, I'm amenable to that.
We have ourselves a deal.
He shakes her hand, and from underneath the counter where he put your potion away already, he pulls out a potion of greater restoration and 3 healing potions. You're welcome to add those to your inventory. Or you can tell your party how you're dispersing them if you're giving them away as soon as you get back.
Okay. Yeah, Eidos will thank the man for his business, and then he'll go find a lamb chop for some lamb chop.
We'll find who? What?
Lamb chop for some lamb chop.
Oh, you're buying
Yeah.
lamb. You're buying a lamb chop. Okay.
Yeah. And he's gonna grab some breakfast for Bula and then head back to the Underhill.
Okay, wonderful. You're welcome to do so for just like 4 coppers. You can get her a nice big Bula-sized breakfast.
Nice.
And you head on back. yeah, so flashing back to present moment while you guys are planning and figuring out what you're going to do. Next steps. Question mark.
So I will head back to the minaret and get one of those little boats for us. And is there like a good meeting place for everybody? Like above the table, like would I know like where I could park a boat for everyone?
So you would know that like the Navy fleet is docked not at like the big main port, but at the old port up by this old lighthouse further to the north.
Okay.
There are still like pretty rickety, rundown, like not well kept docks, but docks that people use. Still like people who aren't, wanting to check in at the port necessarily. It's a little bit more out of the way. It's a little bit more out of the city, so you could feasibly have the group like meet you there. And a small, like, it's essentially like a large dinghy boat is what you're using.
Okay.
That would blend in pretty well on these docks with other boats of the same size.
Okay. So I'll tell everybody to meet me at the rickety docks in a couple hours while I go get our dinghy.
All right. Go ahead and roll. If you're going by yourself, you can let me know if you're using any kind of like subterfuge to do this. Otherwise, you'll have to roll a stealth roll as you move through the city.
I'm gonna be wearing my old lady disguise self.
Okay, wonderful. So now we'll just do Are you trying to steal one of the boats from your house as this old lady? Are you trying to get contact with one of your like typical like contacts at the house? Maybe one of like maybe your maidservant, maybe someone who works in the offices.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to go to the minaret, try to see if I find someone that I trust and confide in them to try to help me, because I do want to go to the safe and maybe pick up some money, and also check on Glitterbell because she's probably wrecked my entire room by now.
That's probably true. Okay. You are able to like approach your family's like dock where all the boats are on the land side, on the city side. You see the typical like one of the typical dock hands is there, the person who gives boats to you and your family and to the people who work there. Typically people have to show some form of ID to actually take the boat over to the house. Or they have to have some sort of appointment, like if they can say I have an appointment with so-and-so's name, that's usually enough to get them there into like the business offices side of things. So you could use something like that. Or you could, that would just be like a deception roll kind of thing. Or you can like say, hey, it's me, Seraphina, hoping this person is gonna, not rat you out.
I'm gonna go for the deception. I'm gonna try to say I have an appointment.
Okay. And you'll just say like the name of one of the office workers that is constantly there and takes appointments regularly. Someone like who you think would just understand that's someone who takes appointments from random people all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who like runs business licensing or something. And so you go ahead and do so. Go ahead and roll a deception with advantage.
Okay. Okay, I got a natural 20.
Incredible. Yum. Love that.
Yay.
Yeah, so immediately, this guy does not question it. He pulls up one of the boats for you. You realize this boat will work just fine. It's just like all the others. Your mom was right that this would work just fine for approaching the fleet. And in this distance from the house, these boats run with sort of like just magical automatic force. So it just takes you straight across to the house.
Okay, perfect.
As you approach as a little old lady going up the stairs into the minaret. Where do you head inside? You know that your mom's safe is in your parents' bedroom.
Okay.
Or your like family safe with the family money.
Okay, so I will I'll approach the safe and do I know the combination? I
think your mom would have told you. Your mom would have told you the combination. I don't know that Seraphina would just like have it memorized. I feel like there was a moment where your mom was like, go get some money from the safe. And you were like... And she goes, you don't know the combination. You forgot the combination? Again? And she told it to you.
Thanks, Mom.
So go ahead as you move, like moving through the offices and the more public part of the minaret, easy peasy. Getting up to your family's penthouse, passing people in the hallways before the stairs up. Roll a stealth check for me.
Okay.
Or you could roll a deception check as you just try and make it look like one of the servants or look like you're supposed to be there, whichever you prefer.
Ooh, okay. So I got an unnatural 20 for stealth.
Beautiful, 2 20s. Okay. Yeah, you make it upstairs, easy peasy. You wait until the hallway is clear, and then you make a run for the stairs as this little old lady running like a young woman. In high heels, though, I'm sure. And you make it upstairs to the safe. You're able to sneak past the few workers who are working. Like, your family is all pretty much out of the minaret, so there's not much for your family staff to be doing.
Everyone's just lounging.
Exactly. So you're like easily able to know, like, okay, they're gonna be just like sitting around the kitchen island, or they're gonna be like on the living room couch, the nice one that the help isn't supposed to be on. They're there. For sure. So you're able to sneak past them, get to the safe. You open it up. Let me roll to see how many coins you find.
Yay.
Doing math. Math is hard. You are able, I mean, in this safe, it's most of your family's wealth that's not in a bank. It's just sort of rainy day panic money kind of thing. But that is like 1,462 gold in that safe. So you're welcome to take as much or as little of that as you want to.
Yeah, Seraphine is debating. She starts like scooping some slowly into her purse, and then just more and more like puts them back, and then like scoops again.
Puts a little back, scoops twice as much as that.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'll take. Oh my gosh. I'll take 300 gold.
Okay.
I feel like that's reasonable.
I think that's more than reasonable. For Seraphina, I think that's really her showing a lot of growth in character. Okay. Anything else you need to accomplish in the house? Or are you gonna head back
yeah,
down?
I gotta go check on Glitterbell.
That's right. Okay. You head up to your suite.
I take a deep breath before I go in.
First of all, you note that although the help is lounging, they haven't forgotten that there's a live small creature in this room. They haven't like been able to find her. She's pretty good at hiding herself per your instructions. But like after like day 2, they started finding piles of doo-doo on the rug, on the very expensive tapestry rug. And so they haven't been able to wrangle her. They've opened up your like balcony doors so that she can go outside. And they've cleaned up. So although there's still a stain, still a couple pee-pee spots, they've tried to clean up as best they can and opened the doors, hoping whatever has gotten in here has left by now, or can at least go outside. You do, do you like make a noise? Do you go in as the old lady?
Yeah, I will go in as the old lady, but kind of call to her like in my normal voice, like Glitterbell.
Okay, you hear so much glass shatter, so many like a whole table topple with a bunch of like the whole tea set on it from the other room as Glitterbell comes running in from your bedroom through the tea room and like jumps up into your arm, tail wagging like a puppy. She's huge though. When she tries to jump up in your arms, it sends you full flying into the floor. She's a dog at this point. And she's wiggling. Her scales are itchy, scratchy on your skin, but she's happy. Yeah.
I'll like give her scritches and be like, "Oh, you're such a big girl, so good."
So happy. It's been pretty lovely.
Okay, so at this time, I feel like I need to take her with me because I'm not really sure if I'm gonna get an opportune time to come back here. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna try to see if she can like stealth with me, like through the city back to Underhill.
Okay,
Let
cool,
me see
cool.
if she has anything.
As you
Okay.
try and get her, what is your? Can Glitterbell fly yet? I can't remember.
Glitterbell can fly, and she also has pretty good stealth too.
What you could do is roll stealth for her and have her fly out your window, or you're welcome to try and have her stealth along with you down through the house. Either way, you'll have to go through the house. I don't think she's big enough to carry you yet. But you could have her fly down to the boat from the window or from the boat.
Okay, yeah, I will. I'll like look out the window and like point to the boat.
She understands. She's a girl, so
Meet me there.
just roll for her a stealth roll.
Okay.
To make sure that she gets there without people seeing her.
17.
Okay, that'll do it. The DC was pretty low since you had her go through the window. No one's watching for a small white dragon to go flying by. So she goes and she lays down pretty low in the boat with her chin like on one of the boat benches, but goes like as flat as she can.
Okay.
And you can sneak back down to the house. I'll have your stealth roll from before count for getting out.
Okay, perfect. Even though I'm just like clanking with all my money.
Yes. It's like you're wearing chainmail. Okay. Anything else you need to do at the house, or are you going to take the boat over to those docks?
That's it. I'm gonna go take this boat to the rickety docks.
Okay, wonderful. Does anybody else have anything to accomplish on this day? Who's next?
Just gonna go scout out the docks
Okay.
in the old town.
Okay. You head that way. I feel like you and Seraphina, or you probably get there before Seraphina's back. This is all kind of happening simultaneously. So you get to these old docks via Seraphina's directions to get there. You see this old lighthouse standing on the coast. It's your pretty good waypoint. You find the docks down on the coast. And you can, before you're even that close, you can see the fleet, the big masts rising in the distance on the water. The fleet is fairly visible from where you are. You are able to just like head count essentially like maybe 40 ships anchored. They're not at the docks, they're anchored out in the deeper water. They have not like they as opposed to going and docking at the port, which would have really gummed up the port's ability to import and export things. They've stayed up here to stay out of the way, and they're just coming in and going from these docks. So there are some dinghy boats that the Navy has used to send people into the city that are docked at the docks, at the old docks. So you count about 40 ships. They're all in this big, like, mass conglomeration. It looks like they're very close together, almost like a floating city out there. Go ahead and roll perception as you just try and, like, get some feel for what's going on out there.
Oh boy.
And let me know if there's anything specific you're looking for.
Just for Maynote herself, or a regiment of, like, higher looking people. Like, they look, you know, better, or more well dressed, more uniformed.
Sure.
So 19.
So you're pretty far to see that, but I'll give you something if you roll high.
26.
26. Okay. Yeah, you're very far out. You're too far away, even with your not cat eyes. You're able to. You note that there's like not from this distance, not a lot of like differentiation that you can make out in uniform as far as bars, embellishments, whatever. What you can tell though is by the ships themselves. The smaller ones are docked further around the outside of the ring, while you see going toward the center, the ships get bigger. They go from like smaller galleys to longboats to sailing ships, all the way up to this like these 3 massive war galleys that you can see in the very center of this big circle mass of ships. It doesn't take a lot to see that those are the flagships. First of all, they are literally flying multiple flags for Erendriel, for the nation, for Oziled, the home city, for Nurdistand, the city that you're in, as well as just the Triune Navy flags. They've got those flagships have 2 giant masts that rise up over the top of the rest of the ships. Huge, long decks. They're all pretty similar, like near identical, at least from this distance. But they are clearly like the 3 most high-ranking ships in this fleet.
From here, could I see if there are people that are like just regular dock hands helping out, or are they all in uniform?
Like at the docks themselves down here?
Yeah.
This is not like it's not a dock run by the city anymore. It's been abandoned by the city after the bigger port was built further south. So there's not like that you can tell like any kind of uniformed or like specific deckhand. You can see some people were paid by the Navy to come and help them just load and unload supplies, anything like that. But mostly it's the Navy sort of running things for themselves here right now.
All right. Does it seem like there's enough that I could like basically just become a dockhand and help them as I'm there, or would it just be that there's not enough that I would pretty much stand out pretty well?
You would stand out pretty well. However, considering what's been going on in the city, you with a high enough deception roll, you could feasibly say like, "Hey, I'm just like down on my luck. I'm here for work. Do you have anything I can do for you while you're all in town?" You could maybe pull that off. You will stand out. It'll be kind of a higher DC to actually pull it off as far as deception goes, but you can try.
Okay. I'll just stay towards the back and wait for my friends. Because I'm not the most... I could stealth, that's not so bad, but I'll just wait and see if I can get any closer. If I feel like it's too dangerous, though, I'll just kind of just stay at the back and wait.
That being said, I won't have you roll for stealth. You're able to keep yourself back in the shadows super easily. You're a pro at stealth at this point. Okay. So you've got the lay of the land. Killian, eventually, are you waiting back at the Underhill, or do you have anything you need to do out in the city?
Question above table. Last session, I had asked about turning that helmet glass into like something to help me see. Now I don't think that's ready, but and who did I coordinate that with? Because I forgot about it. I forgot who
Lady
I coordinated. Lady Blackthorn, right.
Yeah.
And while we were kind of looking for the Blackthorns and stuff like that, we went past like was it like a blacksmith type shop or like a industrial type place before?
Yeah, several. Like while you guys were looking for when you guys were looking for Lady Blackthorn.
Yeah,
you did multiple spots like that.
Killian wants to head out over there because he just has an innate desire to go buy a grappling hook. He just feels like he's going to need it, and with everything that's going on, he is just very much in an over-preparing kind of mood. And like even while he's walking, he's just like going through battle scenarios in his head. He's like, okay, if this happens, then we gotta abandon ship, but if this happens, we're okay. And he's just going through all like mumbling to himself as he's walking. But he wants to just get like a grappling hook of some kind, even if it's just like a large like iron hook. He wants to see where he can get something like that.
Okay, easily done. You head back toward the sort of industrial district that you have toured through in this city. You find the business, Some Like It Hot Smithy. And you go inside, and sure enough, they are working on all kinds of... It's not a weapons and armor shop, it is a functional tool shop. So this is the kind of place you'd want to be looking. Go ahead and we'll just... Unless you need anything besides a grappling hook, we'll just very quickly... you can barter for it if you want to, but...
while we're here, let's grab some ball bearings while I'm at it.
Okay, grappling hook with 50 feet of rope. That's just going to cost you a gold piece at this point. You're getting it like straight from the source where it's being made. And then for ball bearings...
Just like a classic, like I think it's like 1,000 ball bearing bag, I think is like the standard.
Also just a gold piece.
All right. I want 2 grappling hooks.
Cool, go for it.
All
2
right.
gold pieces.
Feels
They each have 50 foot of rope attached.
That's all really Killian wants.
Okay, lovely. All right, I think your errand is probably the quickest done. Yours and maybe Ados's come back around the same time. And you both see when Bess arrives back. She's very furry, and she's like almost like panting like a dog when she comes back from just like moving quickly through the city trying to be spotted by as few people as possible. even in her disguise. She gives Kittenberry back her hat of disguise and comes up to you guys at the table. And at this point, the tavern is picking up ish for lunch, so it's getting a little bit easier to blend into the crowd. And she pulls out of her big satchel. She says, "The Navy has really battened down the hatches, unfortunately, but I was able to get 3 Navy uniforms from my friend. These are just the ones that she needed to get laundered, so sorry if they smell a bit like a dog's ass." And she puts them down on the table for you. They're folded. She's folded them neatly, but they do kind of like, they smell a bit. She says, she told me it would probably not be wise to ask anybody I don't trust. At this point, I don't know who to trust besides her. I'm sorry I couldn't get you more, but here's what we got anyway.
Well, we appreciate it, Bess. However, what do we do about the rest of us? Seraphina, you can probably make yourself look like you're wearing a uniform.
Yeah, we'll say the rest of the group has started
Yes,
to...
but I'm on the dinghy.
You guys are coming back.
I'm
It's
at
fine.
the docks.
You jump the
So
conversation forward in time.
But between Seraphina's disguise and maybe Kittenberry's hat, we could make up for the missing 2.
Yeah, if Kittenberry's willing to loan her hat out.
Kittenberry is, of course, I am happy to do so. After, no offense, Miss Bess, but after she wore it, I don't think I will wear it until it has a good wash, so please, wear it to your heart's content, and hands it over.
Ados will very gingerly take it. It's like, oh, great, thank you. By the way, Ados is giving everybody back their money. So.
Nice.
Redistribute that coin. Okay. The rest of you slowly come back together. Zada, I assume after you feel like you've gleaned all the information you can, you rejoin the group, yes?
I thought I was just going to stay there until they get there, so in case Maynote comes or goes, I'll always have an eye on it.
Okay, cool. You don't know Maynote coming and going. You know some different naval officers. It appears that, like, only a few Navy officers come into the city during the day at this point. And by a few, I mean, like, out of the several hundred that are on the fleet. But the boats, though you can't, like, tell people apart at this distance, they're busy. It appears they keep at least a skeleton crew on every single ship out there. That's kind of just their home base. You do not see anybody matching Maynote's description, or he recognizes Maynote coming and going. And if the rest of the party is ready, when you're ready, you're welcome to head over and meet. If you're ready to try and undertake this little adventure.
Alright, so who is wearing an outfit? And it's just me, Ados, and Bula currently together. Because Seraphina is on the boat and Zada's at the docks. So like Ados said, Seraphina can kind of handle that. Zareth here with us, I'm assuming? Is he chilling with us?
Yeah. He'll come if you want him to, yeah.
Can you disguise yourself at all with magic, Zareth?
He says, I've been working on something for that, so yeah, I think I can manage that. It's not my usual type, but Seraphina's been helping me out, learning some new things.
All right, so I'll take one of the uniforms. Bula, do you want one of the uniforms, or?
How big was this friend of Bess's?
Are these stretched to fit?
You hold it up, and they're quite big. They're not like they're sailors' uniforms, so they're made to be able to be adjustable and to be, given away once you're not in the force anymore. They're pretty tight on Bula, but the rest of you have to really cinch them in to make them look decent. But Bula, you're busting out in a few spots. You'll have to adjust a bit.
Tucking stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Ados, are you going to wear this one?
I have Kenberry's disguise. I'll just use that.
You think Zada's gonna fit into this? If
Well,
Bula can barely fit into it?
I suppose that makes sense. Fine, I'll put it on. And he sniffs it before he does.
Yeah, I think it's best maybe if Zada uses the hat.
Yeah, he does stand out a little bit more than me. Oh, by the way, Bula, and he'll toss over a potion of lesser restoration. Or, sorry, a general potion. General healing potion.
Yeah, don't give her the big one. I feel like if anybody needs the one that... the restoration, it's probably Killian. He has a tendency to just let them hit him, so...
But, I mean, by that logic, do we want him to hold the nice one? He's just gonna be on the ground with his face melted off.
That's true. I kind of thought so he could take it if he needed it, but I feel like if he gets to the point where he needs it, he's going to need some assistance as well.
Right? Sorry, Killian, you understand, right?
It's like Killian just watching them two, just like argue about how he's gonna die, essentially. I mean, if I'm unconscious, I can't use it, so...
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we should give Zada the potion of greater restoration. He can get there faster than any of us can.
That's true. He is faster.
So I'll give you, Bula, Seraphina, and myself each a general potion. Zada the potion of greater restoration. Everybody's got one.
Mm-hmm.
You know that the greater restorations do not heal; it just cures a status effect, right?
No, that's why I asked you guys which one was the better deal.
No, it is good. It is good. Greater restoration can cure like petrification, a lot of other like really bad status effects, but it does not heal any hit points. It just cures a status effect.
Interesting. Well, same logic. You're getting it. You're too fast. You gotta have it.
You can get where you need to be faster, so...
Oh yeah, I know.
Let's see.
Alright, well... I think all of our preparations are done. You just see it's like Killian grabs like his bag that's full of stuff. Grappling hooks are on the outside. He's like, I'm ready to go.
Okay. In your disguises, and Kittenberry casts disguise self on herself. You want Kittenberry and Sarah to come, or just Sarah?
I think just Zareth, because we need her hat.
Oh yeah.
He has disguise self, so she can give you the hat and cast disguise self on herself. So it's up to you, just whether you want her in combat.
But we're still short one. Because we have three uniforms, one hat, one Seraphina, and then Zareth, who has to take care of himself.
Oh, yeah, Zareth can take care of herself, and Kittenberry can also cast disguise self. Though
Yeah,
they can take care of.
Oh, she doesn't need her hat.
It's
Correct.
more
She does
if
not need her hat. He has it, though.
it's more if we want to drag her into this scrum we're about to get into.
Maybe we could have it just be on the docks and create a distraction with that giant cannon of hers if things goes to shit. We can set up like I don't know, like a flare or something, like a glitter bell flare. Just like use the rocket or use the cannon.
And Killian will say this like full on with Kittenberry right there. I really don't want to put her in any harm's way. Not to say I don't doubt your skills, Kittenberry, but I just, there's a lot going on here, and you don't, it's just you don't have too much skin in the game in this situation here. It's kind of risking yourself for no real purpose when you have your own goals in mind. Now, I don't mind if you, maybe escort us to the docks and, maybe take some kind of vantage point there, but I don't want you in the fray.
Well, Killian, well, you may not doubt my skills. I very much do, so I do appreciate the sentiment. That being said, I think I must agree with you. It would probably not be in everybody's, including my best interest, for me to try and take on an entire navy when I am just still beginning to learn the nature of what I can do. So, if you want me to escort you to the docks and again act as perhaps a lookout and set off my pocket cannon, pulls out her little pistol. If anything goes sideways or if I notice anything you all need to abandon ship for, I'd be happy to do that for you.
And we would very much appreciate that, Kiddenberry. We just don't want to put you in any harm's way. You've been traveling with us for a little while, so we have your best interests at heart.
Okay, then that is the plan. I will still disguise myself as just a Navy officer, I suppose, and that way I blend in at the docks, and I will stay landside while you all take to ship. So she just uses her disguise self spell on herself. And she has the plan to hang back and let you know if anything goes sideways. Zareth also disguises himself, and you all take off for the docks.
Yep.
Okay. Looking like a bunch of some weird looking, but most Zareth has disguised himself to look as average dude as possible. This is just you talk to him and then immediately forget what he looks like kind of face. And you all head toward the docks together. Seraphina, you knowing what you were looking for, you realized partway through the day you saw Zada kind of pop out from the tree line and give you a wave as the old lady. Once he also realized that you must be the old lady just sitting in a little dinghy boat by herself, grumpily waving off Navy officers as they come over to make sure you're okay. Leave me to my business. So you two have clocked each other, and you all find Seraphina's now familiar old lady form down in the boats. Zada, you see your friends, who you assume to be your friends. 3 of your friends and 3 randos approach, or 2 randos approach.
I sniff them out. You can disguise your face and everything. Can't disguise your smell.
Zareth always smells like that.
Even with these stinky things on.
Not all
Yeah,
of
you
you
guys
have them
smell
on.
terrible. And Seraphina's gonna prestidigitate everybody because she does not know where the smell is coming from, and it's bad.
Oh, it's all of us, I assure you. Thank you so much.
I don't know
It'll
what
still
y'all are
toss
talking
over.
about. I didn't smell anything.
It's kind of nice.
Smells kind of normal to me. I don't know.
It'll still toss Kittenberry's hat to Zada so that he can disguise himself as well.
All right.
So, Zada, what did you see out there?
Not much. I can tell that, and he just points to the bigger ships. That's probably where she's on. There's some officers coming and going. I didn't really see Maynote. Debated on going to try to get in there, but as you can tell, kind of stand out. So I just kind of stayed back. I did check any of the officers that were leaving. None of them were Maynote. I kind of kept tabs on them. Nothing I could see. All I could really tell is there's at least some people on each of the boats. And some of them are just skeleton crews. But if I were to guess, she's probably on one of those big ships in the center of the ring of ships.
Mm-hmm. So do we think we'll have to kind of get on one of the ships on the outer ring and work our way in?
I think we should be able to just go in. They're loading supplies on and off. Correct me if I'm wrong. That I've been seeing people put stuff onto smaller boats to be transferred over to the bigger boats or the smaller ships, right?
Or bring it into land, or bring it into the docks and into the city, yeah. So not super
so
often, every couple hours they, change the guard, a couple people come and go.
So I don't think it'll be a problem just going up to the main fleet. We don't have to hop, skid, and jump over to each one, especially if we look like we're going where we're supposed to go. And like I said, if anybody asks, we could just say we are the card change for Maynote's main ship, and maybe we're just lost or that someone didn't give us the right information, and then we can just get on whatever ship that we know they may know where she's at, and then we can go there.
Okay. Well, as good a plan as any.
All right. As you all, in disguise by now, approach the docks, there's a few A dinghy actually just came in from the fleet, and it's just a few naval officers getting off and heading into the city to take a shift, doing a patrol or something. So as you're passing them on the docks, heading over toward the little old lady in her little dinghy, go ahead and everybody roll just a deception with advantage, since you're all disguised up, just to look like, a typical platoon.
Or 19.
Nice.
Ooh, advantage.
Oh, I rolled just to see what our advantage, and I got 2 nat 20s. Does that make any difference?
You won twice.
Oh my
Pretty
gosh,
dang.
that's crazy.
Now I will roll
The-
like
the
crap for the
compounds.
rest of the time.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. You roll your dice out. You're
I'm
doomed.
all done. It's all out.
Seraphina got a critical 20 for 27. By the way, before I was trying to say dirty 20, but I was saying unnatural 20. I just realized my previous roll.
Unnatural.
Unnatural. Yeah, sorry. This is unnatural 20 for 27.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Yeah, I got a 10.
did we say deception?
Deception, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
A 10.
Yeah.
With advantage?
That was with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Ula's
The other roll was
real
a
earnest.
5.
She's a real honest person,
Yeah, where's...
Yeah, I think most of you slide right by easily, but they side-eye Bula hard, busting out of this. Like, it
It's
looks
'cause
like...
she's walking. She's trying to look like she belongs here and that she's professional, and then buttons start popping off and like poke some guy's eyeball out.
Yeah. I think they make a jab at your half-orc nature and keep it moving, and it smarts. It hits you right. It hits home after the thoughts you were thinking this morning. But you, with the help of your gang, looking so professional and so like they belong there, you were able to manage to slide by without them doing much more than commenting.
After their comments, she doesn't feel bad about hitting him in the eye with her button anymore.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. You all board the dinghy boat. I'm assuming, Seraphina, are you gonna like redisguise yourself, or are you going in as an old lady in a navy uniform? What's your plan?
Seraphina's gonna go old lady in a navy uniform. That's how it's gonna be that kind of day.
Okay. Wonderful.
They'll never suspect it.
Okay. And you row the boat over to the fleet. We're gonna take that group stealth roll or that group deception roll as you board the fleet. You ride up to a boat. You're fully in uniform, so you don't need to try and like subterfuge your way in necessarily in any particular way. You're pretty unquestionably. This is a huge amount of people. No one really can tell who's who. Or people only know sort of the crew of their own ship, not so much the crews of other ships. So you're able to slide in, and you greet a few sailors who help tie your dinghy boat up and lift you up to the top deck, and you start making your way through the ships. It is a veritable maze of ships when it comes to gangplanks. You find yourself accidentally like looping around at one point, like you're like, oh, we've been on this ship before. I'm sure everything looks so similar. You're crossing planks trying to keep a straight line in just a mass of ships that maybe at one time when they first parked here had some sort of orderly fashion, but at this point the waves of the ocean have buffeted them around like a bunch of pontoon boats just loosely tied. So it's a mess, but you manage to keep the flagships in front of you and make your way toward them. So at this point, you know that you can assume Maynote is going to be on one of those flagships. You're like maybe 3 or 4 ship lengths away from them. How do you want to regroup? How do you want to approach those flagships or finding Maynote? Is there anything you're going to do, or are you just going to waltz on in?
So, what was the plan again? We're gonna say we are here on business.
Part of the Maynote's security division, like to protect her ship. So wherever she's at, that's where we were assigned.
Okay.
Business.
Business. Yes.
Business.
Walk in like we're doing business.
Um,
Should be just fine.
from where we are right now, can we see anything on the top deck of like these three bigger ships?
Yeah, you are certainly close enough. You see, each of the ships, much like any other ship, has, see if I know boat terms. Hold on. You've got like a foredeck, a forecastle, like up high. The sort of main deck, a little bit lower, with stairs going up to it in the center. And then an aft deck, I think it's called, at the back of the boat. Also up a little higher. So this sort of three-tiered open air top deck of the ship. Each of them seem to have that going on. There's you guys take a minute, you kind of try and blend in and do a head count of sailors you see moving around on those top decks. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like somewhere between like 10 and 15 soldiers at any given time moving around the three separate decks. Like not per ship, but across all three ships. Of people moving around. You don't necessarily see Maynote herself at this particular moment, but you're still a little bit far. Like, she could be one of those sailors walking around out there.
How big are these ships as well? Like, the deck?
Let me do a quick measure. They are upwards of 250 feet long, you would estimate. Maybe 75 feet wide at their widest point. Pretty tall. And then the sails, there's a smaller sail on the fore deck and a larger sail from the center deck. The largest sail is like 100 feet tall. The front sail is like maybe 75 feet tall. And the sails are all furled up. You can see a crow's nest on the back sail on top. Only one of which appears to be currently manned.
And just to be clear, you said 15 or 10 to 15 sailors across all three, or?
Correct. So not per boat, but across all three.
Okay.
So Seraphina is, like hiding Glitterbell. She mentions to the group, maybe we can have Glitterbell take a round and see if she can spot Maynote.
Does Glitterbell know how to do that? I mean, we haven't really taken her out on a tactical mission before.
I mean, I can, we have a secret way of communicating. You just don't understand.
I don't.
We're just a little closer than you and Casimir.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
At least she knows his name. Come on.
Oh.
He's like, she got his name right. That's all right. That's a win.
Progress.
I think one of the best things to do is either you, Seraphina, or Eidos just go talk to the people. I mean, why send Glitterbell in danger if you could just ask? Like I said, we are there, or we could say like, hey, we have a missive from command on the shore for Maynote. Where is she at currently? And then if they don't tell us, then you can use Glitterbell. But maybe first just ask where she's at.
Yeah, we can send the disposable ones in first. Eidos, why don't you go? Why don't you go check things out?
Certainly.
He's not disposable. He's a contributing member of the party.
Thank you, Sata. Very kind of you to say. Yeah, I suppose I can. And if they say, Archimedes, stop, you're not supposed to be here, you guys are going to come for me, right? Or not,
you want me to be right behind you? I'll do that. Oh, by the way, I think I'll disguise myself as like just a really tall elf, because I think you can only go like a foot shorter than you really are. So I just look like a really tall, like pale-skinned elf. Yeah, just gangly as hell.
Like a teenager, like
yeah. Just this really tall elf with like really long hair. Definitely going through his emo phase right now.
Great.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Well, let's try it. Maybe it'll be as easy to talk our way on, or just easy to talk our way on. Why not?
Cool. Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay.
Back up.
Well, Eidos tilts his sailor's hat at a jaunty angle and makes his way toward the beacon.
Are you wearing your tiara under your sailor's hat?
Certainly, yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. Okay. You jauntily make your way that direction. You managed to pass. Let me do a roll here. Yeah, you get questioned a couple times along the way. The closer you get, the more you notice people are checking each other, making sure people are supposed to be where they are. Go ahead and roll a, if Eidos is taking the lead in these conversations, Eidos can roll a deception check for me.
Okay. 17.
Okay. It takes a bit to convince some people, but you manage to charm your way further and further in until you find yourself on the adjacent ship to one of the 3 flagships. And with that, let's take a quick 10-minute break.
Ooh.
Stick around for the ads and all that good stuff. We'll be back in about 45 after 10:15. See you in a minute. Welcome back, kids. Y'all ready to see a TPK? Because I'm going to do it. Okay. These guys are approaching Maynote's 3 flagships of the Triune Navy. Their one goal is to reveal that Admiral Maynote herself is not who she says she is, using the arcane signature. You've approached the closest ship, and with Eidos' help, you've talked your way across this whole fleet of 40-some ships to get here. And you are welcome to board the closest of these 3 flagships, not quite knowing exactly which one Maynote is occupying. So you're welcome to let me know how you proceed as you have leave of the gangplank.
Eidos walks boldly forth like he owns the place, head held high, and just starts making his way through the deck of this ship, looking for somebody in charge.
Okay, are the rest of you following?
Yeah.
I suppose so, yeah.
Alrighty.
A resounding hell yes.
As you all approach onto this first ship, the northernmost ship here, there is a sailor up here on the forecastle with you, a sailor down in the center castle, and a couple sailors on the aft castle. All these sailors, by all accounts, look to be the same rank now that you're up close. Some are older than others, some stronger, some weaker, but altogether, they look like a very competent and capable crew, and as you all cross the gangplank, the closest sailor approaches Eidos, having been the first to cross, and asks for your identification and your business.
Yes, our business is taking over the security detail for Maynote. We got word that she needed more coverage. So, yep, we're here on official order.
Taking over for Maynote, you say? On official order? Whose official order? Because my official orders came from Maynote to run her security detail.
Oh, ours came from Captain Longfellow.
Captain, he yells to the other sailor on the forecastle. Hey, you ever heard of a Captain Longfellow? And he goes, I think I knew one back in Ozaled, but I think he died in the last storm, actually. Yeah, I don't know. Captain Longfellow. Yeah, I don't either. And he looks back at you, cross, and says, why don't you go ahead and head back across and see if you can come up with a better story than that. Right now, we've got things covered here.
Look, we just came from shore. You can see we're new recruits. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just following orders, you see. So, do you have a manager we could speak to see where we should go next, or? Because if we head back to shore...
Sure. most of the crew at this point is having a laugh at you.
Okay, okay.
Manager.
Look, fellas.
All right, son. What's your first and last name? And your rank?
Longshoreman, Gary, Stiles.
Love it.
That broke me. Gary Stiles, you say? Sounds a bit fruity.
A bit fruity. Okay. All right. Yeah. A bit of camaraderie, gentle jiving. I'm one of the boys too. You see. Anyway, yeah, I can see this is a left-handed monkey wrench situation. Obviously, we've been fooled, but at this point, I don't know who to take orders from.
All right, son. Wait here, and he hollers at the other two sailors on the ship to head over and keep these kids here while I go over and talk to the admiral about this longshoreman Gary Stiles and his platoon. And he heads across actually the nearest gangplank. And those of you taking note would understand if he's going to talk to Admiral Maynote. You can assume this is where she would be, and he disappears under deck toward the back of that ship.
The ship we're on?
No, he goes to the one
to the south.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Further south. A few minutes later, he and the Admiral herself appear from out underneath that ship, and while he appears to be heading back toward you, Maynote herself stops and just kind of like crosses her arms, standing outside of the sort of galley door of her ship. And he doesn't even really cross back across. He says, well, boys, these, we're obviously not invited, so, either you all can walk yourself back across, or, we'll be happy to escort you back to your home ship.
But we don't have a home ship.
You're not a part of the fleet?
No, I mean, we are part of the fleet, but we've been jumping around all day. Which ship do we go to? You know, what is a home ship? If not
What
just...
is ship?
What is ship? You know? I believe a ship is a heart that sails across the sea, much like ours.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever that heart may go, that is our ship. So I asked thee, where is your ship? Is that Maynote?
Maynote has come out from underneath, yeah.
Maynote.
Do you ask that of him?
Yes. I'll lean over and say, Maynote, Captain Maynote. Oh shit, it's the captain.
Admiral.
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 Immediately
Admiral
he's like,
Maynote.
do not misrank your admiral. Come on.
I'm sorry.
I'm just
okay. Yeah, I'm just so excited to see her. I've never seen her before. She looks powerful, commanding. I guess she is an admiral, so she does a lot of that. I wonder if we could speak to her. I have a lot of ideas about how we could up security around here, make things more streamlined, like a boat.
Admiral Maynote at this point. This guy is at this point like rolling his eyes and trying to like bodily herd you guys back toward the gangplank. He's like kind of moving in, as are the others, just like to essentially putting a wall between. But Maynote seems to have kind of lost her patience and starts to head closer. I would like Serafina to roll a wisdom save, please.
You get to add +3 to it.
+3. Okay, can I also use I think I have a lucky. So I think that gives me advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So I have +3 and also advantage. Yeah.
So lucky is if you don't roll what you want the first time, then you can re-roll. Basically.
Okay,
You
so I
can
don't have
choose
to announce
use
it
luck.
before.
You don't need to waste
I can
luck
roll
if you don't need it,
first.
you don't need it.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, roll for and then
You-
first, and then that way you don't waste it if you don't need it.
Okay,
New
okay.
luck-
I will
new-
roll first. Yeah, go ahead.
New lucky, you have to. Just an FYI, if it's the feat, or is it because you're human? Because you have inspiration also if you're human.
Oh man, I have too many options because I am also human. I will do
Yeah.
the feat one and announce my intention to use lucky before I roll.
Yeah, new lucky isn't as good as old lucky. New lucky is you have
Okay.
to be like, I am
Just
using
a little less, yeah, a little less lucky. Okay, I'm gonna roll now.
Or you can use inspiration if you fail this, and you can re-roll one of those dice.
Okay, that's true. Okay, so I rolled I have a 19 plus 3, so 22, and then I guess I'll roll again because I already did my lucky.
You don't have to. You can roll.
And then I got a 26.
Okay. As she approaches you, she actually moves through her sailors on her ship. And you... I'm trying to figure out if you feel it or not.
As you're looking, I will glare back at Zareth because he's still on the dinghy boat. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm gonna give him a really dirty look. He's failing us again.
She's just staring you down. Her eyes are just boring into your soul, but you can't really detect any change in her face.
Oh my god.
Zareth did walk back over across with you guys, and as she approaches, he realizes she has come within range, and he looks over at you, and then behind him at Killian, for essentially with the question in his eyes now. Maynote,
Push the button.
her eyes are boring into Seraphina, and very quickly they flick over to Zareth as out of his pocket he pulls this little device and immediately starts chanting over it. Very, very low under his breath, but has to do a verbal chant that he was taught by your dad, Seraphina. And it's going to take him around to activate this thing.
Oh
And Maynote's eyes flick from his hand coming out of his pocket to the device, up to his face, to the rest of you, and immediately backs up through her sailors. And everybody roll initiative as she pulls a weapon, as do her sailors. And she says, "Seize them, they're intruders." And she tries to start backing away. So we've got 1 round until that device goes off.
Yikes. All that smooth talking didn't do anything?
Hey, we got her out.
We got you here.
Yeah, you got it.
That's true, that's true.
We got him within range. He has to stay within range to keep that thing going, though. That's your guys' job to get him there. All right. Seraphina, what'd you roll for your initiative?
I got a 4.
Eidos?
Well, 2 plus 1.
Zada?
Dirty 20.
31? Billion?
21.
You want to switch?
20 to 21?
Yeah. You want to switch?
No. I finally beat you at initiative roll.
To be fair, I rolled a
Lu-
13, so.
Bula, what'd you roll?
Nat 20 for a 22.
Ooh, Willie, you want to switch?
No. I'm usually like last in line.
Okay. Okay, I have a lot of sailors run here, so we're going to do this as group combat. So how this works is I've got my sailors labeled for me in groups of 4. So I'm going to be, it's 16 sailors, I believe, altogether that we've got here, give or take. So I'll be running essentially 4 groups of 4. So they'll all attack at the same time. I'll see how many of them hit, and their hits are always going to be the same average amount as far as damage goes. Maynote will have her own turns. You guys will have your own turns. Otherwise, you'll be trying to do damage as best you can while getting Sereth as close to Maynote as you can keep him so that that device doesn't unactivate. If at any point I notice during Maynote or Zareth's turns that she has gotten more than 50 feet away from him, that device will need to reactivate as soon as he's back in range. It will start the timer over for 1 round. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. Let's do this thing. So, Maynote rolled a 24 in initiative, so she's gonna go first. She is right off the bat going to, no, not yet. She's going to cast a spell. It appears to be targeted at, Zareth with that device. And he appears to be able to shake off the spell. Following that, she is going to... She just vanishes in this swirling void of magic. And you are going to watch her reappear 60 feet back. Further down the dock. And so that will reset the timer as soon as he can get back within range.
Yikes.
How about that?
I said, yikes.
Yikes, indeed. At the same time, she's also going to use her movement, and she's going to run as far as she can. To take a defensive position. And she appears inhumanly fast.
That's as fast as I am. Get back here.
All right. We've got a group of sailors who are going to go next. Figure out what number this is. So they are all going to move in, and she's going to yell for them to attack Zareth. They are not inhumanly fast, and not all of them are going to make it in. But they're going to come in and try and surround him, at the very least. Keep forgetting to dash. Okay. Only 2 of them are able to make it in and do an action, and then one is going to do a ranged attack on him. So I'll roll to see if the 2 hit. Neither of the 2 that are closest to him hits. And then the ranged attack does hit, so he's going to take a couple points of bludgeoning, and you notice he also, like, you see, like, sort of like a puff of liquid powdery something as this, like, slinged bullet essentially just, like, pelts his skin. Appears to do a little bit extra damage to him. Next up, first of you guys, Bula. What you gonna do?
All right. So, Bula watches this little woman kind of skitter away, and she hears Zareth kind of like, "Oh shoot, I gotta start over," and that just pisses her off. She's, "Get back here!" And so she's, first of all, what she's gonna do is she's gonna enter her rage. She's just gonna, "Oh, why are you running away?" And oh shoot, come back. As she does so, she's gonna pounce, which means I can move half my speed, just on that initial, like, "Hey, here we are. So we're gonna go. That gets us here. Shoot, no, stat. That gets us here. Would she be able to keep going towards the plank, or would these guys here stop her?
They'll have opportunity attacks on you. You're welcome to, but you can go around them.
She'll go ahead and knock these out to make the way clear. So she is going to. Why is this? I'm sorry. For some reason on my sheet, it is not letting me. Oh, there we go. Actually, enter my rage. There we go. Activate. Yeah. All right. Now she's angry. Okay. So she's gonna go ahead and swipe at the one right in front of her face that's in her way. She's just gonna pull out her big great axe.
Cool.
So that's gonna be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, actually. Okay, yes, that hits. But also... Okay. So also, as she's raging and she pulls out her great axe, it just feels a little lighter in her hand. So she's going to do damage for that one. That's going to be 12 points of damage.
Very nice.
And it also seems like it has a more of a force damage than it does slashing damage.
Okay.
All right. So is he's still in front of her face? I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's not down. You did some real damage to him, but he's not downed.
Okay, she's gonna take a second swipe at him.
And you're talking about the one that's not between you and Seraphina, right? You're talking about the one to the south of you. Or were you doing the one between you and Sarah?
This one.
Okay, yep, got you. Yep.
Yeah, the one that's between me and where I'm going.
Yep.
Okay, so the second time she is going to attack with a... It's a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. So she swings first one way with him and comes back around and takes another swipe at him, and that's going to be another 12 points of damage.
Nice, beautiful. Almost down, but not quite there.
And then she just screams in his face. He's in her way. She's not happy about it. And she gets some spit on him as she does so.
Gross. Okay, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Killian.
Killian will just yell out, "We need to chase her down!" And he's going to first attack the one that's kind of this right here. He'll take out the whip. He'll put a little divine power into it. And he'll start whipping.
All right.
So 23 to hit.
That hits.
And that's going to be 8 points of damage on that one. Radiant damage. And then the second attack, it's going to be 24 to hit.
That hits.
And he will... I'll use my freebie Divine Smite.
Cool.
Oh, dang. So 12, and then 9, 21 radiant damage.
Done. Downed.
Just as I wrote it up. Perfect. Killian also knows he needs to protect Zareth, so he's going to just kind of get around this way. And that'll be his turn.
All right. Nicely done. We've got such a big map. All the sailors from the farthest ship, the ship no one's really moved into yet, are going to come rushing forward. Okay, they're just dashing for their turn, coming in to defend Maynote. Zada, that's you.
You want me to go? Do it.
Go get him.
Got it.
Can you pick up Zareth and take him over there?
Not really.
I would
I
allow
will-
it for half movement speed.
Yeah, it'll slow me down a lot.
Eh.
Or I can get to...
Okay, get to her.
Plus, you would be in a lot of danger. Like, I will be surrounded.
Okay. Bad idea. I see.
Like, yeah, I could do it. I don't know if it'll be a good idea for him.
I will let you if you manage to run past Zareth. I would let him hand off the device to you, but you don't know the incantation to turn it on.
No.
Yeah.
So, I will... 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So I'll go here for my first 60. Step of the Wind. I will use a... No, it's just one. I won't use a key point to do disengage. So he can take an attack of opportunity on me.
Okay. Does a 16 hit?
No.
Alrighty,
Not
you're good to go.
on Sada. He's 17, right? Yep, 17. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And then I will burn my action to dash again. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Hi! And yeah, that will be my action, my bonus action, and my movement.
Alrighty.
Oh, he also is in elemental form. He'll just be in Lightning Kitty right now.
Okay. Okay. One of the next group goes running in the direction of Maynote, while the rest of them on your ship come moving into you all. Actually, they're all just going to do ranged attacks. I changed my mind. The ones that are on your ship. And they're all going to go for Zareth. We got 2 hits, so he's going to take another chunk of damage. He appears to also be getting pretty sickly. It's hurting him a little bit more than it should be. Another group. Final sailor group, if I can find them. They all are going to take ranged attacks. I'm going to come in closer and take ranged attacks on you, Zada. They are all on your ship, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. The only one who, another on range. What's your, AC?
17.
Okay, none of them hit. Okay, it is Zareth's turn. He is going to... He's going to cast Dimension Door.
Who's gonna bring with him? Bring Killian.
He looks around. Yeah, I think that would make sense. He's going to just kind of maneuver around so he doesn't have to take an opportunity attack over to buy you, Killian. And he'll grab your arm and say, "Ready for a trip?"
What?
He turns around, hair blowing in the wind.
Okay, and you are shunted. He wants to put you where you're close enough, but where you can kind of have her cornered. And he's got you by his side to defend him if he needs. Okay, and then for his bonus action, he's gonna start to again chant the activation for the device. Seraphina, you're up.
Seraphina, as a bonus action, she can do something called a disappearing step. So she becomes invisible. And so it's like a Missy step, but she's also invisible until the start of my next turn. So she's gonna move to about here. Whoops. And then as she's invisible, she's going to dash towards Maynote to about... Oops. Oh, thank you.
I just turned you invisible.
Thank you. About here.
I can't even see her.
Because I'm invisible. That's my
that puts you like down lower, like on the bottom deck. Do you want to be on the stairs instead? You just move
I'll be on
the
the
space to go on the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, Eidos.
Trying to figure out what Bula's doing.
Smashing stuff.
Gonna stick around here and smash?
No, I mean her plan was to head this way to try to get this woman to stop, but she's not the fastest ever, and she got tangled with human bodies. So
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna get out of this together. Eidos is going to cast a quicken spell. It's gonna be Chromatic Orb at 2nd level. And the first one's going straight to the dome of this guy in front of him. And that's a natural 1, so I hate myself. And, yeah, that I was going to do really cool stuff, but
Like the flail snails all over again.
that's
You can
True
use
form.
Seeking Spell if
I already
you
used-
want. You already used Seeking Spell?
I already used Quicken Spell. I can still
Yeah,
use
you said it was Quicken.
Seeking Spell, huh?
You can still meta magic, I think, a mist spell with Seeking Spell.
Yeah, I think that's one that you're allowed to use to... Or are you able to use that in addition
even
to
if
another
you've
one?
even if you've already used the meta magic option. All right,
Meta-magic.
then I will do that because I really want this to work. Okay. Cool. It's not even. Okay. Does 21 hit?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that tip. $48. All right. Please get doubles, please get doubles. I did get doubles, nice. So 12, 14, and 22 points of lightning damage to homeboy in front of me.
That messed him up. It's not downed, but boy, is he rough.
Okay. And then since I rolled 2 6s on that, it's going to bounce to the guy that's. Actually, let's say it'll bounce to the guy who's to the right of Bula.
Okay.
And I'm going to make an attack roll against a new target. And that is a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And new damage roll. Nice. Alright, that does not bounce, but I do get 13 points of lightning damage.
All right. Pretty good.
Okay. And this was twinned. So this one is going to the one in front of Bula.
Okay.
And that's a 25 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Double failures.
He's
No
also holding on
doubles.
by a thread.
Doesn't jump, but he takes 12 points of lightning damage.
All right, he is downed.
Cool. All right. And I think that's what I've got. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Back to the top of the round. Maynote. Yeah.
She had a little devious DM smile when she said that. Saw it.
Need to measure. Okay, so Killian and Zareth and Zada. I wish I would stop doing that to her. Killian, Zareth, and Zada are all gonna have to roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Zareth gets a
I'm rolling
+3,
Zareth is plus 3.
Not close enough. So sad.
just out of reach, Zada. Wisdom?
Uh-huh.
Wisdom is
Oh.
my high.
26.
Zareth got a 16.
Ooh, I got 11.
11. Okay, Zada, you failed. The other two succeed. Zareth succeeds by the hair of his teeth. He's trying to focus on this incantation. He almost falls prey to this, to what Zada's about to feel. But he manages to, again, shake it off and concentrate. Zada, what you feel? You get this, like, overwhelming surge of false memories and paranoia deep in your mind, and it is... You are unable to shake it. You are gonna take... collect some dice. Give me a moment. $23 points of psychic damage,
Holy.
and you are
Ouch.
confused for 1 minute.
Ouch.
Do we take
You
any
can repeat,
half
you can
damage or
repeat the
anything?
saving throw at the end of each of your turns to save from that confusion.
Mhm.
What was your question, Kill?
Do we take any half damage or anything?
If you succeed, you save. You're fine.
All right.
You managed to take off the effect. I think, let me double check. Yeah. Okay. That's action. Let's do... Let me go for a roll here. I love when dice do what I want them to do. Okay, she manages to recharge her sort of Misty Step adjacent thing that you've already seen once as her bonus action. And once again, she is disappearing in this surge of magic and is going to reappear. on the next ship north. Zareth curses heavily as the cube has started to light up white and immediately goes dark again. We've got a group of baddies gonna go. 2 of whom are already dead in this group, luckily. Where's the third one? Okay. Bula, you're gonna take a hit at close range. Does a 14 hit you, Boo? Boo Boo?
Oh, it makes it, so yeah.
Okay, you're gonna take 6 slashing damage and 2 poison damage. So 8 total.
Is the slashing already halved? Because I am raging.
It is not, so you can half that to 3.
Said 3. And then what was the
Plus
poison?
2 poison. 2 poison, so 5 total.
Okay, so 5.
Yep. And then let me see if you get hit with the ranged attack. A 14 again on the attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
This time you're going to take 5 bludgeoning, halved to 2 bludgeoning, and 2 poison.
So 4.
Yep.
And she just kind of laughs, but like, I mean, she's raging, so it's like a real creepy kind of crazed laugh.
And as you give that crazed laugh, it's your turn.
All right. Was it the one right next to her that hit her?
So yeah, the one right next to you, and then the one just across the gangplank to your
across the
south.
gangplank, okay.
Close to the gangplank.
So she's gonna turn to the one right next to her, and was that a good idea? I don't think so. She's just gonna slice them through. Okay, sorry. That's gonna be a 20, just a dirty 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. 13 points of damage.
That is exactly how many it needed. They're down.
Meets it, beats it. It's gone.
Needs
Alright.
beats it.
And that's the only other one that's like right there in my vicinity.
Yeah.
Within 5-ish feet.
Yep, correct.
Okay, so then what she's gonna do, she hasn't taken her movement yet, she still has another attack. So she's gonna go about to the end of this gangplank here.
Okay.
She's gonna take that big great axe, which just feels a little lighter in her hand right now, and she's gonna throw it.
Okay. Keep in mind, you're welcome to throw it at any of these targets, but the guy behind the mast, like the guy up next to Eidos, is kind of behind the whole mast, so he's in a little bit of cover from where you're at for a straight shot.
No, I'm talking about the one on the other boat.
Good. Perfect. Then you have a clear shot. Go for it.
This
Roll to attack.
fella right here, the one that's right in my face.
Cool.
So it's still going to be force damage. It now has the light and thrown properties.
Cool.
So she's going to chuck that bad boy with both hands. It's just like an overhand, like, toss. 19 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah, it does. Oh, come on. So that is going to be 12 again. 12 points of damage.
Nice.
So it kind of
Alright.
flies through the air and like takes a good snick out of him. And then all of a sudden he like looks up at her and she's just standing there and it's back in her hand and she's just holding it. It's just reappeared immediately in her hand.
Fab. I love it. All right. Anything else from you?
She's going to go on ahead and take the rest of her movement. So this was only about half. And so, she's gonna grin her teeth and foam at the mouth a little bit, and then go on ahead and come to the end of the flank and kind of get in his face.
All right. Wonderful. Killian, you're up.
All right. As a free action, Killian wants to just grab, kind of like out of his tied up on like the side of his waist is like the health potion that he has. He's gonna just put it down on the ground and look back to Zareth and says, "You need to drink this and follow me. We have to get her." And then Killian's going to kind of press forward over this way. And he's going to attack this guard here. So he's going to whip it. 26 to hit.
That hits. Remind me, show me again, point to which one you're attacking.
Just like this guy on the bottom here. And he's going to use Thunderous Smite as he kind of drags the whip along the ground as he runs towards him, and that guy's gonna need to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. That's a nat 1.
All right, this guy gets pushed 10 feet away.
Away from you?
Yep.
In a straight line?
Yep.
Well, that puts him in the ocean.
Perfect.
Yay.
He wet.
It's gonna roll the damage
He's
for
gonna
it
take-
as well. But go ahead.
These are huge ships. This is a pretty big fall. He's gonna take a little bit of fall damage. I'll roll for that.
Yeah. He's gonna take so 3 plus 7. So it's like 10 points of radiant and thunder damage mixed together.
Nice. Okay. And he took a couple points of fall damage as well as he hit the ocean.
All right.
Cold, choppy water.
And then Killian's gonna just kind of get a little bit closer, and the second attack against this guy here.
Got it.
Oh, nat 20.
That hits. We're gonna
Yay.
use a full damage die and then add on that second with a roll.
All right. So that's gonna be not too much. So it's just 13 points of radiant damage.
That's when it's doubled.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's
Or with the yeah.
math is done there. Yeah, 13 total.
Okay, got it.
Yep. And that is Killian's turn.
Wonderful. Okay, good round. Another group's gonna go. The guy down in the ocean is gonna try and start to climb back up the ship. He's gonna essentially just swim over as close as he can toward where there's an anchor rope down, so he can climb up that anchor rope to the top. It's gonna take him a hot minute to get there, though. The rest of that group are going to close ranks as best they can. You'll pick 2 attacks at close range. That's an 11 and an 8 to hit. I'm sorry, nope, I forgot to add on the bonuses. Hold on. Sorry, that's a 16 and a 13 to hit.
Do not hit.
Neither do. Okay. And then you'll take 1 more ranged attack. That's another 16 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay, awesome. Well, you're high ACs. You're all tough to hit. All right, Zada, you're up.
I'm
You are
confused.
confused. You are confused.
So I have to roll, right? A random thing to do.
Yes, you'll do a wisdom save.
Oh, it wasn't safe. Okay. Hopefully this is better. 14.
I'm sorry, I had you do that at the wrong time. You'll do wisdom save at the end. We'll keep that roll, so we'll keep that 14 roll, but do your confusion roll first.
All right, so D6, right?
Yeah.
6.
6. Okay. You cannot move or take actions on this turn.
I look pretty.
You do not move in a random direction off the ship, though, so that's great.
Yeah, I just kind of stay there, look around. I can't take an action.
Correct.
Does that include bonus actions?
Correct.
Okay. Then I'll just sit there.
Okay. I'm sorry, we should have had you roll a d10. Do you want to re-roll or do you want to take that outcome? That's my bad.
That's okay. I'll do a D10. That's not a big deal. I thought it was a D6, but he's cool. 2.
2. Okay. It's the same thing. You don't move or take an action this turn.
Oh, same thing.
Same range.
What are the
Okay.
odds?
Okay. Now your wisdom save would have been a 14, so that does not save, so you remain confused.
Confused.
Real pretty out here, though. Big ship, big boat.
Where
I feel
am
like
I?
maybe
Who am
Zada,
I?
you know, Zada doesn't like being on ships, so I feel like maybe for the first time since getting on this fleet, Zada's like, this is nice.
This is nice. It's like you just give into the ship, you know, just flow with it.
Okay. We've got a group of sailors. The first group of sailors is gonna go. Not the first group, but one of the groups of sailors. So Eidos and Bula. Eidos, you're gonna take 2 close attacks. Bula, you're gonna take 1.
Okay.
Because I think the other guy is dead, is he? Where is he? 1, 2, 3. Oh, and there's one who's gonna close ranks with Maynote. Okay, Eidos, does a 19 hit you?
Yes, but I'm going to cast Shield as a reaction.
Okay, nice. Does that get your AC up to where it's a miss?
Yeah, it's 21 now.
Nice. Okay, so you take 2 misses. And then Bula, for yours, does a 17 hit?
It does.
Okay, you're going to take 6 slashing damage plus another 2 poison, but you can have that slashing since you're still raging.
Mm-hmm. You said
So
it was
total of
6,
5
so
damage.
3. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And she just keeps up her crazy maniacal laughter, like it tickles. Doesn't even hurt, just tickles.
Okay, wonderful. There's a group over kind of close to Zada. Seraphina, you're invisible, so the guy next to you isn't going to see you as he moves away. So if you would like to, you can take an opportunity attack.
Ooh. Okay, I will do that.
Okay, go for
I'm
it.
gonna Eldritch Blast him. And I can do 2 blasts.
Okay.
17 to hit.
17 hits.
And then 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Okay, so let me roll damage. So there's 10 damage. And then 7 damage.
With an attack of opportunity, you only get 1.
Yeah, you only get 1
I
of
only
those.
do 1. Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
only get 1. Oh no.
I'll do the first one, I guess, for 10.
For 10? Okay.
That's good to know. Thanks, Royal.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also not invisible anymore because I attacked.
Because you attacked.
Yeah.
Okay, Zada, you're taking 3 attacks at close range. 1 from afar, and then with confusion, is your AC the same? Let me read. Double check.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything gets
So your
affected.
AC remains. So
Do
we'll
I
do
still
the
get my
3.
reactions? Do I still? Good question. Is like I cannot take any actions, but do I still get a reaction from that confusion?
It does not look like it does.
So I still get my reaction.
I think so. It doesn't say that you don't.
So each creature, blah blah blah, wisdom save thing, or that target can't take bonus actions or reactions and must roll a d10 at the start of each of its turns to determine its behavior.
All right.
You just confuzzled
No
over there.
Yep. No reactions either. Got it. I saw.
But at least your AC isn't dropped. And they don't have advantage or anything. Okay, so we've got 2 15s and a 13 for the close range attacks. I can't roll for these guys.
Nope.
And then for the long range attack, there's a 17 hit.
17 is my AC.
Okay, meets it, beats it. So you're going to take 5 bludgeoning plus 2 poison damage for a total of 7. I'm trying to figure out if I've gone through all the groups in this round, have I? Excellent. Yeah, that's everybody. Okay. Okay, Zaret's turn. He is going to. Have we talked homebrew rules for health potions? Did we decide? My home rule for health potions is you can use an action to get the full benefit, bonus action to roll.
Yeah,
We talked about that. Have we decided on that?
I think that's pretty typical.
Okay. So I think I'll do that. I think he wants to save his bonus action because he really wants to get. He wants to save his bonus action when he gets in range with her. So I think he'll take the whole heal with an action. So he's going to take the full 10 hit points back, and then he'll follow. He wanted him to follow you, right, Killian?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do so. And I will regain him 10 hit points. Okay, Seraphina.
Okay, from where I am on this ship, is there anywhere where there's a line of sight to Maynote?
From where you are...
Or just the ship?
Yeah, I mean, like, once you come up to this top deck, which once you go up these last, like, step, basically, you're on eye line with her. These walls that you're seeing are all, like, pretty short, like, waist-height walls. So you can have line of sight face-to-face once you get up to this top, basically.
Like, kind of like here, maybe?
Yes,
or
exactly.
Like... Okay, okay. I will do the same disappearing step to here. So I'll have line of sight here. Hold. Oh crap! Let me measure. Oh no! Oh no!
Does your step allow you to travel far enough to go like here?
Where was I before? Crap! Oh no!
You were like here.
Okay, okay. Hold on. Let me move. Let me measure again. Yeah, I can move to like here.
That gets you a little closer to her and keeps you from being in.
Okay, hold on.
Attack of opportunity range.
Okay, yes, I will. Okay, so I'm invisible now. Oh, that was stupid because now I'm about to cast a spell. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna cast sleep on Maynote. She has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Alrighty.
And then, ooh, is this guy within 5 feet of her?
Yes.
Okay. I will try to put him to sleep too.
Okay.
So I can do a 5-foot radius sphere.
Maynote got a 27 on that saving throw.
Ooh.
27, dang.
Yup. And the basic guy. He said it's a wisdom save.
Yeah.
14.
Okay, so he is asleep.
He goes to sleep. Okay, nice.
That
That would have been great if you had hit her with that. That would have been
I
amazing.
know. Hold on. I haven't. Okay, that was bonus action. Okay, I'm gonna move towards. No, I'll see where I am. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, nice. Eidos.
Okay. I cast innate sorcery on myself, make my sorcerer spells a little more beefy, and then I'm gonna cast a thunder wave at 3rd level. Get these guys off of me.
Ooh.
Yeah. A wave of thunderous energy. Each creature in a 15-foot cube makes a Constitution saving throw, DC 16.
Okay. We've got a 16 exactly and an 8. So one of them saves, one of them does not.
Okay. On a save, you take half as much damage.
Okay. We'll say the one beneath you saved, and the one above you saved. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, awesome. That is 21 points of thunder damage, and the one who failed is pushed 10 feet away from me.
Or he would be if he wasn't a body now.
I'll take that too. That's good.
You said it was 20 feet away he gets pushed?
Oh, did I say 20? I thought it was
Or did you say 10?
15,
I've got a lot.
10, 15.
It is 10.
And then, what was the full amount of damage? 21?
21.
So halved, we'll round up for 11 damage for the other guy. He does not get pushed, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about that.
Cool. Okay, very nice. Anything else?
I was hoping to slip away from this. That's a bonus action and action, movement, full attack of opportunity. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. As this roaring boom of thunder echoes out away from all these ships, and you hear sailors who have been in the ships around you coming your way, trying to see what's happening. You realize the whole fleet kind of goes eerily quiet as people understand something is happening further in. We're gonna call for a break tonight and pick this up again next week.
Ooh.
Yay!
Yippee! What a mess you all have found yourselves in. I love it.
It's making so much noise, Ados. Stop it.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that part. Yeah. But
You had to get out of there somehow.
you live and learn,
Okay, we'll be back next week. We'll pick up here right where we left off. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for playing. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay cool. Don't get all your wisdom teeth removed. It sucks. Keep them in as long as you can.
Amen to that.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye.